Lyons, and welcome to tip number 2. It's Thursday, and we are tip number 2 of our 10-tip series on success in Hollywood. And as I promised you, on Tuesday, I have Nikki Love here. I'm a very big fan of Nikki, and I'm just absolutely thrilled that she's here. Nikki is an actress, a successful producer, but what I love most about her is her organization that she founded called Real Ladies. It's an international organization that empowers women in the entertainment industry, and honestly, you've got members from everywhere, all over the world. Yeah. So, and I'm a member, so I'm just honored to be a member, and honored that Nikki could come and join us today in her busy schedule, and so I'm just thrilled. So what today is about is creating your timeline, and I'm a very big fan of that, because I find when we create a goal and all of a sudden we say what our goal is, it can be very daunting, almost like a New Year's resolution, where it's like, oh my God, it's so big that nothing gets done. Right. So when I break it down into a timeline and into milestones, it becomes something that, oh, I can do this. So I wanted to get your take on it, because she is probably one of the busiest women on planet Earth at the moment, and she is a master. And maybe beyond, you know, and is a master at the timeline, and a master at doing juggling so many things at the same time. That, what's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought me in for this one, because this is kind of like my passion too. Like what I try to tell women all the time is that, yeah, I mean, you do tend to you can get overwhelmed if you don't have a timeline, if you don't have specific things for yourself. And it's like whatever works for you. Like I kind of do what you do with your board. I've got boards everywhere. My husband is like, okay, take it back into the office. Like, sorry. But yeah, like I have to kind of regulate and really kind of put myself, you know, on some guidelines as far as what I'm going after, the things that I'm doing, and I have to separate it out. You know, I have to separate it out with my acting career, with producing and those type of projects. Yes. And some of those projects are, you know, development and pre-production, and you know, so you have to kind of break all of those down, and then I have to go to my timeline for Real Ladies and my business plan for that, and what I had planned for after 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, which we're coming up on the 5-year mark. So there's again specific time lines that I had for that, and what I definitely wanted to have in place for our 5-year anniversary and that goal and stuff like that. So it's kind of starting with the big picture, like I said, and just kind of backtracking and breaking it up to say, okay, if I have to get there, what do I need to do in order to have everything into place to get to that point? And I may not know every single detail, but I at least know the basics of what I need to have in place to get to that end point. And once you get to that end point, there's a whole nother point that comes up. Yeah, exactly. you just keep going. You just keep going. You know, I'm consistently setting new goals and new deadlines and guidelines for myself. I'm probably like my worst critic. I'm like the hardest on myself than anybody else. I'm like, oh my God, I missed a goal. I missed it. I'm like, I was so productive this week. I can't believe I didn't do it this week. You know, and I get like really, really hard on myself.
Got it. But you find the timeline helps you when you're breaking it down, because you mentioned even if you didn't know how to do it. So you're finding, you know, because for me, sometimes if I don't know that I don't know that I don't know, then nothing happens. Right. Whereas if I write it down, if I'm back time and go, you know what, I need to get to that actress, but I don't know how to do that. Right. At least that I've written it down, there's an area that I know I need help with.
Exactly.
But I didn't even know I needed help with it if it wasn't written down. Right. Now that it's written down, I need some help with that. So sometimes I find that even helps, and that's what you were, I think, alluding to when you were saying, and even the things that I don't know how to do.
Exactly.
You know?
Because like you said, if I know I need to have this project in pre-production in 3 months, and we definitely need to have this actress attached to it. Yeah. But I don't know how I'm going to get to this actress. So that needs to go into your timeline. Okay, I have even less than 3 months, because you want to be in pre-production in 3 months. So you have to set that whole timeline and that goal for a specific time to even have this actress attached. Yeah. And how are you going to go about getting her attached? Right. And how do I even go about getting those people to get to her? And okay, so there's just certain things that now, again, backtracking. Okay, so now I need to reach so-and-so and so-and-so and put out the feelers to so-and-so and see if any of those people bite. And if not, then I need to come with plan B. And if that doesn't work, plan C. And I'm a big believer in having backup plans. I have backup plans for everything.
And backup plans for your backup plan.
Exactly, exactly. Just in case. Just in case.
That's great. So, and the other thing that I notice for me is if I know that I've got to do 100 calls, it's like, oh my God, 100 calls. But when I know I've got 3 months to do it, all of a sudden you start breaking it down from Monday to Friday. It's probably like, I don't know, 1 a day or something. You know, it is. I think that would be like 1 a day. Right. And 1 a day that's a joke.
Right, that's easy.
But all of a sudden we were thinking 100 goals, oh my God, you know. So it almost makes it easy.
Yeah.
It takes that goal, and when the more you break it down, the more it's like, oh yeah, let's do it.
The more it's like, yeah, I could do that. I could do A, B, C, D, and E, and that. Then when you look up, you're like, oh, I'm at Z. Great, it works.
Exactly.
And we were talking about it, but I was mentioning that the example that I like to use is akin to having a grocery list and going to the grocery store. Like, you wake up at the beginning of the day, I need certain things. This is the big picture is I'm going to cook this fabulous dinner tonight, but I need to have all these things in place to be able to do it. So I need to go to the grocery store, and I got to go run these errands. I got to have all these things done in order to cook this fabulous dinner by the end of the night. And if that means I have to go and do a detour and go around this way and go to store A and then go to store B, and then I have to go pick somebody up, and then I got to go drop something off. But that's all part of what we do in our everyday life is mapping even the smallest things out. We come up with a detailed game plan of how we're going to complete our day. Yeah. And all the things that we want to accomplish within that day. Yeah. And my thing is, why not use that same mentality that you have for your everyday, the menial tasks in your everyday life. I love this. Applying it towards your dream and that passion and that goal that you have. It's the exact same thing.
It's perfect. It's just fantastic. I love it. A grocery, I mean, but think about it. It just so makes sense. I never thought of it like that before. Brilliant, didn't I say? I wasn't kidding. Anyways, this is so cool. So if we can do a grocery list, for God's sakes, we can make a movie or whatever, right? Exactly. Okay, I get it. We can do a timeline. This is so cool. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. This is so much fun. I love having my colleagues and my friends to share with me. This is so cool. And just because I have a friend doesn't mean you don't get your homework. You know, so every time I'm worried that they think, she's going to take her mind off the homework. Now, never. The homework is take a big piece of paper and write down your goals, the various goals at the end of that, like in December. Now you're going to back time 7 months to June and write them in the right margin, and then back time them all as to what needs to happen on a monthly basis or bi-weekly or however you want to do it. But back time it to break it into these timelines and milestones that will help you, as Nikki said, have your passions and dreams come true and fulfill on your goals. So I'm so thrilled. I will see you. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Tuesday for tip number 3. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Bye-bye.